To quote Robert Boyce, knowledge is power. Knowledge shared is power multiplied. Technology was made to improve the quality of life. The internet has the ingenious ability to receive and share knowledge within a second. Unfortunately, there are benefits and disadvantages to everything that could be potentially seen as good. Edward Snowden believed that technology was a wonderful invention and had many great uses. However, Snowden uncovered all of the shocking surveillance secrets of the US government, specifically the National Security Agency, and leaked all of it to the public. Some argue that Snowden is a criminal. However, after extensive research, I have come to the conclusion that Edward Snowden is a hero because the US government took technology and weaponized it against the American people after the 9/11 attacks, which Snowden discovered and then revealed to the public, letting them decide how to fight and protect themselves. Before 9/11, according to Snowden, anyone could go on base at the NSA without needing to stop at a checkpoint or have any papers saying they were allowed to be there. However, once the terrorists attacked, the government went on high alert and started putting security measures in place. Professor Ben de Brun of the University of Maastricht divulged the government's solution to the attacks was to form an agency called the Department of Homeland Security, which was founded in 2002. The DHS's job was to prevent disasters from happening and to fight against terrorism domestically in the US. The DHS did their job by analyzing and tracking the public's digital footprint. With these higher security measures, the public's privacy became non-existent. In an article from US Today, reporter Hadley Barndollar informs us that after forming the DHS, the government passed a law called the USA Patriot Act of 2001. The USA Patriot Act of 2001 allowed law enforcement to analyze and to listen to domestic conversations without the need of a court order. This act was made to protect the public from another attack. However, the government kept this information hidden from the public. By this act, authorities were allowed to tap phones domestically and internationally, look up financial records, and search the public's personal emails. This act serves as a means to protect people in a great panic. But almost 21 years later, it is seen as a great injustice and breach of privacy of billions of humans. Not only did the federal government and the Bush administration allow this to happen internationally, but also in their own country and the homes of their family and loved ones. They stripped away the private lives of Americans and people around the world, proclaiming it was for the safety of everyone. However, one individual thought the public should know what was happening to them and their privacy. That person was Edward Snowden. Snowden informs us in his memoir, Permanent Record, that from the time Edward Snowden's father brought home the family's first computer at the age of 9, he was obsessed with it. Moreover, 13 years later, after he became injured during Air Force training, Snowden decided to serve his country with his brain. Thus, he went and took the CIA's 3 polygraph tests. He passed all 3 with the highest clearance, TSSCI. Oddly enough, Snowden had to be hired by a private company in 2005 for him to get a job at the CIA because the government only cared about money and contracts. The first day on the job, the CIA has their employees go through indoctrination training. This means they are brainwashing them to believe whatever the CIA tells them. The same thing happens at the NSA as well. Essentially, in training, the new employees forget their personal and moral beliefs and believe whatever they are told. This is psychologically proven to be true based on a study done by Professor Stephen Gibson from York St. John University. The study is about authority and the psychological effects it has on people. The study showed that if a person was given orders by a superior, they could do the most heinous acts and believe that what they are doing is justifiable and the right thing to do. However, Snowden found his morals and disagreed with the way the government was conducting their surveillance. Snowden first discovered the U.S. government invading the U.S. citizens' personal privacy when he was observing the personal information of Chinese citizens. After observing how much information the NSA had on China's personal affairs, he figured out that the NSA was doing this to the U.S. as well. With time and deep searches, Snowden found a classified document that made the U.S. government look like terrifying criminals. Instead of protecting the U.S. with technology, they turned to controlling the U.S. with technology. According to reporter Barton Gilman, who personally interviewed Snowden, the NSA can literally track anyone with a computer or a phone. With these items, they can track everything anyone does on any technological device. Even if the device is off, the NSA can still track it. Thus, Snowden bravely contacted journalists and shared these secrets with the whole world. Furthermore, the public was shocked to find out all the NSA was monitoring. According to an article written by reporter Denick from the International Journal of Communication, People started self-monitoring what they searched on the web for fear of the government and what could potentially happen to them. Also, according to an article written by reporter Adam Sewer from NBC, U.S. citizens led a protest called Stop Watching Us, which took place by the Capitol reflecting pool. The purpose of this protest was to unite people with a common goal of stopping the government from taking their personal data. The movement was extremely powerful. It brought people together from different parties and political views where they formed one common goal: the right to have a private life. The whole world was affected by what Snowden shared. Germany even had a protest called Freedom, Not Fear. Germans wanted their freedom and the freedom to be who they are without fearing what could happen to them. Laura Petro, who was another reporter who personally interviewed Snowden, found out that the NSA also lied about having metadata that collects the private digital information of the public at a congressional hearing in 2011, 2 years before the leaks. Since the leaks in 2013, there have been some laws put in place to protect the digital privacy of the public. In 2018, California passed a law called the California Consumer Privacy Rights Act. That states that businesses have to tell consumers what information they are taking from them. And if the consumer requests the deletion of information, the business must comply. Last year in 2021, Colorado passed a law called Colorado Consumer Protection Act that states that consumers have the right to their privacy and companies need to protect it and not sell it. Breaking this law would earn the company an audience with the general attorney. The Federal Trade Commission also has been attempting to protect the people's right for privacy since the 1970s. However, it's hard to protect something when the people don't even know it's being taken. There are federal laws in place to protect people's privacy, but that did not stop the NSA from violating them and then being protected by the government who made these laws. It's hard for the government to break a law when they are the lawmakers. They could easily create a new law to avoid the one that is in their way. Unfortunately, some people believe that Snowden was wrong for doing what he did. According to Jeffrey Toobin, who is a reporter for CNN on politics, Snowden is a criminal and he should be punished for his crimes. Toobin also stated this in his article for The New Yorker. Any marginally attentive citizen, much less NSA employee or contractor, knows that the entire mission of the agency is to intercept electronic communications. This statement insinuates that Snowden put his life and career at risk for nothing because it was common knowledge that the NSA was collecting data. If this was all public knowledge, then why did the director of the NSA and the director of National Intelligence Agency deny collecting this information during their hearings? According to Laura Petra, it's because they did not want the public to know just how much of their data they were taking, thus leading Snowden to do something about it. Edward Snowden is a hero and a brave man. He risked his life for the greater good because as a human being, he could not live with the horrible knowledge he possessed. However, Snowden did breach the contract he signed with the CIA and NSA that stated he could not disclose classified information. But according to Dr. John Dinnan, who wrote a book on state constitutional politics, Snowden should be protected by the natural laws that were put in place in 1778. Snowden may be a criminal to some, but he is a hero to many. In conclusion, Edward Snowden is a hero because the U.S. government has more secrets and false truths than anyone could have ever thought. They started taking the people's data right after 9/11, telling them it was to protect the nation. However, it went beyond that, and Snowden discovered the shocking secrets of the U.S. government. After Snowden informed the public, the world lost its faith in the ability to explore technology freely, as we have a right to do so. The U.S. government is just a disguise worn by deceitful individuals who hold all the power with the ability to form and break any laws they wish to. Thus, I have a question for you. Is the U.S. government truly protecting its nation?